What is up, my Lorcana goons? Well, we're here with another top 8 deck. I have Bag right here working out on his cardio. What's up, Bag?
What is up, Lorcana goons? We are back again. You know, these never stop. There's so many tournaments going on. Brand new game,
Mm-hmm.
brand new metas. We're bringing them to you first.
A bunch of tournament reports happening from the weekend that we're gonna be going over this week. This next one is the Card Monster Games 2K tournament. This is an 80-player tournament, and we have the top 8 breakdown. Card Monster Games posted the top 8 list yesterday, so shout out to them for posting the top 8 list and keeping track of that. And then shout out the players as well for not only doing well at the event, but also being willing to share your deck list, right? So Card Monster Games, check them out. I'm not sure where they're located, but check this out. We have another top 8 where half of it is Ruby Amethyst. And then we have a couple other sleepers like the Emerald Ruby, and then a new Amber Sapphire list we haven't seen yet. What do you got to say, Bag?
Amber Steel deck.
Amber Steel.
Amber Steel
Yeah,
deck.
Amber Steel.
New Amber Steel deck. Very excited for it. If you notice the chart, we got a different picture this time on there. Of course, we see a resurgence of the Ruby Amethyst. Ruby Amethyst, we've said it many times and we'll continue to say it. It's just going to be the most relevant deck. And you're gonna see it all the time. Majority of people are playing it, but it's been dwindling down in the top 8s. But we're here at Card Monster Games, and they're like, you know what, we're here to stay. So they took 50% of that top 8 this time.
Yep.
But I am excited to see the list of the Amber Steel and the Emerald Ruby, a new color combination, I believe, that we haven't seen. We may have seen it. We do so many of these, I forget, but I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I think the Emerald Ruby is a new color combination, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe so. But let's go ahead and I think maybe we saw that evasive deck that was doing this combination, but I don't remember honestly either. There's been so many. But let's go ahead and get into this. We have our first. This is a top 8 split, so there is no first through 8th place. But this is the first list we're going over. It's Corey Anderson. Congrats to you, Corey. And this is a Emerald Amethyst aggro deck. We've seen this deck before in the past, but there's definitely a lot of consistency in playing a deck like this because you're playing a bunch of 4-ofs minus like 3 Jasper, 3 Megara, 3 John Silver. But I like this deck a lot because it is more of a budget deck. You're only really using money on John Silvers and Cuscos, right?
And you know what? I've seen a lot of lists in these, well, at least in the past video, where they're not even playing that genie. So you can really make this as budget as possible if you take out some of the cards. Only thing I don't like about this list specifically, we don't have those Peter Pans in there. Like I said in the past, I believe that evasive Peter Pan is super important. But nonetheless, he's playing the 14th, so solid list.
Yeah, really solid list. I mean, it's we've seen this deck before. It's been like a top contender in a lot of top 8s lately. It's kind of made its rounds through Pixelborn, and now we're seeing it played a lot in real life. This is something for sure you have to look out for at your locals. This deck generates a lot of advantage with Olaf, Pascal, and then they clear your boards with Megara. And then if you let them get a little too crazy, then they start spamming Cuscos, Mad Hatters, and John Silvers. And even though this deck doesn't go past like 6 to 7 ink, it's really powerful.
Once those Cuscos come down, you're in for a very bad time. And if they get 2 on board, you're stressing.
Yeah, definitely.
You're stressing.
Definitely stressing. And then the classic 3 mothers knows best. But instead of playing 1 befuddle, they're playing 3 befuddle. So they're really trying to expand that.
They're really trying to bounce.
Yeah, they're really trying to expand that bounce power on this list a little bit. But we'll go on to the next list since we've seen this list plenty of times before. Oh look, another Emerald Amethyst. This one is a little
different this time though.
Yeah, this one is a little different. You're right.
I like this one a lot.
Why?
I like the added Rafikis in there. I like the Maleficent in there. It looks like this list specifically was like, I just want to be that a little bit more aggressive in that early game. So I really like the add of those Maleficents because it's a 1-drop, 2 lore. So you do that turn 1, you're already applying the pressure. Turn 2, Flynn Rider. I think that's a very strong curve.
Yeah, the other list.
And you're going to be generating 4 lore, like... That's really strong, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Maleficent bidding her time is slept on. I did notice the other list is also playing Rafiki, but this list isn't playing any befuddles, and instead they're playing 4 Archimedes, 4 Duke of Wesselton. And you said it yourself last. You don't really need the genies in this deck. This person's not even playing John Silver in the deck. They're actually playing Mother Gothel instead. 2 copies of Mother Gothel. This is probably the most budget-friendly version of this list I've seen personally. Because
the thing I like about this is also it's almost like a zoo build because like you said they're not playing the genies, so they're not really looking to get into those ink turns. And
Mm.
with these early drops, that's why he's playing the extra Archimedes. They're really just trying to establish that board and generate Loris ASAP.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. This is a very zoo-like build because there's only Friends on the Other Side and Mother Knows Best. Those are two songs, and those are the only cards you don't. Those are the only cards you play in the deck that are not characters. So yeah, this deck has a lot
Yeah,
of characters. I just realized that right now. I guess you probably
I
use.
love it.
Yeah, yeah. I like it a lot too. I kind of want to try this out again. Another very budget-friendly build that you can probably make by going to locals and just saving up a couple bucks. Right? This seems pretty awesome, and it made
This
top eight.
this deck is like I'm gonna go play Lorcana. I'm gonna go play Lorcana. I'm just gonna go drop my 1 drop, drop my 2 drop, drop my 3 drop, drop my 4 drop, and I'm just gonna play Lorcana.
Yeah, this dude came to play Lorcana and he did very well. I love it. I love to see it. It goes to show you don't need all the legendaries to make deck and top events. You can win some packs at your locals by just investing a little bit of time and practice into a budget deck like this. I want to say this deck is probably less than $100 for sure. Maybe even less than $80 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm sure the only expensive thing here is the Cusco. Then maybe second will be
the
the
Hans.
Mother Grog or the
The Hans.
Hans.
The Mollygothels are cheap. Yeah, Hans is like $10 right now. Mollygothels are like 4. You know what I mean? So yeah, outside
Yeah,
of
good price.
yeah, yeah, awesome, awesome. Congrats to you, Rhett, on Muchler on your top 8
And
in
now
this.
we got the list that I have been super excited for,
Hmm.
especially when I was making this chart and seeing the card combination I was going to use to represent it. The Maui in this, amazing. I've always wanted to see maxing out the evasives from the Amber deck.
Mm.
I mean, sorry, the Ruby deck, and with the Emerald deck. So now we're just like max evasiveness combined with these two colors, and I'm here for it. I don't even mind playing against this because I just know it's going to be insane. You just got evasive, 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 and this man even threw the one Peter Pan in there.
Bro,
They didn't want to miss out on that Peter Pan.
yeah, congrats to Michael Lyjak on top 8 with an Emerald Ruby deck that we haven't seen before because I have never seen somebody play He's Got a Sword, which is the one ink card. And then they're also playing cards like Sudden Chill, which I really don't see played in the meta, right? Like,
I love Sudden Chill.
isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
I love this deck. I'm a
Yeah,
fan of this deck. I'm gonna play this as soon as I get on Pixelborn tonight.
yeah. I mean, like you
It's a
mentioned,
great list.
it is playing a bunch of different evasives in the deck. You got the Tiggers, you got the Peter Pan, you got the Tinkerbell, you have the Pongos. That's kind of crazy, right?
Goofies,
The Goofies as
got
well.
Goofy in there. You're just it's just very threatening. If like multiple of those get on board, I'm gonna be so scared playing my Sapphire Steel because I'm gonna not be able to get rid of anything till turn 5, and even then, that's just one of them.
Yeah, I also noticed this person's only playing 3 Cusco, 3 Dragonfire, 2 Be Prepared, so and 1 Genie. So the removal this deck has seems like kind of small, like limited, I guess. But then you also have the
I would
Gaston, so that
consider
helps.
the Maui,
Oh, Maui's also
the
yeah, Maui's
Maui
also
kind of
really good.
removal.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think it's a good mix. It's obviously not maxed out on spot removal and/or board clear because of the Be Prepared being at 2. But you don't really want to be prepared in a deck like this unless you're like super, super far behind. And even then, you shouldn't be using it so much because you're already going to be behind if you have to be prepared more than once.
Yeah, only
Because
nine.
you really have to establish your board.
Only 9 uninkables. If you don't know what He's Got a Sword does, He's Got a Sword says it's a 1 ink card, has a boo on it. It's the first card on the list, and it says chosen character gets +2 strength this turn. So you just give +2 strength to somebody this turn. I honestly have to wonder how often that came up, how often you need that. Is it just an inkable card? Like, why is it in the deck, you know?
I mean, the +2 is good to clear, especially like you were already kind of worried about the removal. So maybe they felt the same way and they just wanted something earlier to get rid of something problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see really how it worked out in the game, though.
Yeah, and same thing with Sudden Chill. Sudden Chill is an inkable 2 ink song. It says each opponent chooses and discards a card, or a character with 2 or more can sing this song for free. So both players choose and discard a card. Another card where I'm kind of like wondering, I wonder how much impact that really had in the matchup. You know, like well, how often does that come up? How often do you need it? And is it really like necessary in the deck? So, but yeah, congrats to Michael.
Or
I'm
which card?
curious. Sudden Chill.
Sudden Chill.
Each opponent.
It's only each opponent
Yeah.
chooses a discard, so you
Yeah.
don't want to discard a card.
Yeah. So it's just your opponent, making you make your opponent discard 1 card. So I'm not sure how how strong that is. It's kind of like a 1-for-1 almost. But yeah, seems pretty
Yeah.
interesting tech, interesting tech. But nonetheless, congrats. I do want to try this deck out on Pixelborn. Evasive Ruby Emerald strategy seems pretty awesome. But we'll go on to the next list. Now, this list is really spicy. I've seen this on ladder before, but I've never seen it like topping a tournament, much less I don't really see people playing a deck like this. This is an Amber Steel Musketeer deck, man. This is kind of dope, actually, because we have a variety of things we don't normally see. We have the 4 Goofies, 4 Maximus, and we have 4 LeFou, 4 Musketeer Tabard, 4 Musketeer Mickey, the 4 Musketeer Donald, and then we have the Hercules bodyguards in there too at 4. It's a bodyguard deck, really taking advantage of those Musketeer
Yup.
Tabards, man. If you don't know what
And
Musketeer,
taking advantage of all the willpower with the Rapunzel. I love it.
yeah, if you don't know what Musketeer Tabard does, basically every time a bodyguard, is banished, regardless if it's banished in a challenge or not. Whenever a bodyguard is banished, you may draw a card. So this card is very interesting because it stacks. If I have 2 Musketeer Tabards on the board and I have 2 bodyguards on the board, if you be prepared me, I can draw 1 card for each bodyguard per each copy of Tabard I have. So I'd be drawing 4 cards if you in that scenario. That's like extremely powerful.
Crazy.
Yeah, the way they stack is kind of crazy, and I've been kind of wondering why like this doesn't see more play. I do think it is a very mid-range deck. You probably can't rely on the early game a lot with this deck, so maybe that's why people were
Mhm.
afraid to really like experiment with it and pilot it. But man, this looks awesome.
Deck might be a little slow in my opinion to set that up because that thing is uninkable as well as being a 4 cost, which won't be down until turn 4 if you're trying to use it,
Mhm.
and then you still have to summon all your musketeers. So I can see the speed of it probably being an issue of why we don't see it so much, but I think just a little tweak here and there can make it a little faster. That
Yeah,
way we can see it more in the top 8.
yeah, you can. It's any bodyguard that's banished you get to draw. So I mean, if you set up an early game scenario with like Simba and then turn 4 you Tabard, if that as soon as you play that Tabard, if you challenge something with your Simba and your Simba gets banished, you get to draw a card. So you can kind of set it up early.
Oh, it's
I get
any
where,
bodyguard.
yeah, any bodyguard, any bodyguard. So I get what you're saying though. It's
That's a
not.
little crazy. That's a little
Yeah,
crazy.
it is really strong. It's just again, it's the four cost uninkable makes it kind of like rough, but yeah, it is a very strong card. There's only 6 uninkables in this deck too. Oh no, sorry, including Lilo, it's 10 uninkables. And then I do want to point out they're playing Aladdin, the 2 Ink Aladdin. This is a 2/2/1 with 2 lore. Not seen very often in play. But it seems like it has some use case here in a bodyguard deck because you're probably really trying to take advantage of Lilo,
Yeah.
LeFou, and Aladdin, which all quest for 2 lore.
And then the bodyguards protecting them. Yeah, I could see the reason. You
Yep.
just really want the high lore, low
Yeah.
cost characters.
And it goes without saying, Rapunzel's probably really nice in this deck. You already said that, but okay. But yeah, well, we'll go on to the next list.
And then
Shout out to
next
Derek
list we
Smith.
have
Shout out Derek Smith. The next list we have.
Ruby Amethyst.
Yep, this
Ruby
is.
Amethyst, our favorite deck that we're always looking at. We
Mm-hmm.
got 3 Mickey goons in this build.
Yeah, that's
Interesting, very very interesting.
4 brooms. So this guy's a big broom goon. Kendall Burdett, congrats to you on your top 8. Even though you are a broom goon, we congratulate everyone who tops in these tournaments. I like the Ruby Amethyst deck. Don't get me wrong. I'm just we've seen it so many times already. This deck is insane.
This one's more standard than the ones we've seen in the past with the maxed out Dragonfire, maxed out Be Prepared.
Hmm.
We even see Aladdin in here, the shiftable Aladdin, which I maxed out at 4, so
Yeah, that's true.
pretty standard lid. Pretty just a lot of 4 of everything, huh?
He's not playing Aladdin Street Rat, so you can't shift into your big Aladdin. I noticed. That's one thing I noticed right off the bat. I like Aladdin Street Rat personally, and then they're not playing Ursula's Cauldron. They're playing 3 Watch, 2 Mirror, and 2 Shield of Virtue as their item package. Um, Other than that,
I wonder what the choice was to not have the street rat in there.
yeah, I've seen some people not play it as well, just because it is a 3/2/2. Maybe it's a little too like a late game, or like as put them ahead enough. But instead, they are playing multiple copies of Mickey and 4 brooms, which I don't really see 4 brooms all the time. But very heavy on the broom, big broom goon activity.
I don't even know about the 3 Mickeys because
Yeah, you just don't like
Sometimes you just
Mickey.
throw those booms out.
You're just biased. You don't like Mickey.
I definitely doesn't like Mickey.
Mickey stopwatch is kind of crazy. I mean, Mickey White Rabbit's watch with Broom is a very cool combo. Maybe that's why they're trying to maximize on those because they want to see that often. But I mean, next Ruby. We'll go to the next Ruby Amethyst since we're already accustomed to these Ruby Amethysts. Like this is Zan's side. Zan's side, if you don't remember, has also been in another top 8 video. So congrats to you again, bro. This guy, second
Shout out
time.
Zan side.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen Zan top an event, and this is an 80-player event. So I mean, if you need some pro tips, hit up Zan's side, guys. The guy clearly know what he's doing. But yeah, he got 4 Mickeys and 4 brooms as well. Big broom goon activity. Uh,
Broom Goon this tournament.
yeah. Oh, I think this is a dude that had the 4 cauldrons last time. Now he went down to 3 cauldrons, but it makes sense, right? He had 3 cauldrons in this deck. Cauldron is one of the
Yeah,
best cards. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is the dude that played the 4
definitely not
cauldrons.
dropping it.
Yeah, definitely not dropping it. As you can see, they are playing 3 Street Rat and 4 Big Aladdin, and then yeah, the three Pocket Watch. Maybe we're in a 3 Pocket Watch meta. That broom activity seems pretty powerful right now.
Ever since I've been playing more Pixelborn and seeing like the Pocket Watch used on me, it is a crazy card. It's just so strong. You think you're safe sometimes, and you're like, oh, okay, my turn. And then they go, Pocket Watch hit your thing, and you're like, oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, I think Amethyst items are really powerful. Like in general, like Amethyst,
Yeah,
Amethyst gets the best items, like just straight up. Like especially with that new
they
card.
have so
Yeah,
many good options.
yeah, that new spellbook card that gives you 1 lore every turn for free for no reason. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. This deck is nuts. I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen to this deck in Chapter 2, if it changes at all, if it's just gonna be little things changing. But Ruby Amethyst. Here we go again. We'll go to the next list. Next list is Douglas Peters, another Ruby Amethyst. We have 4 of these because it was 50% of the top 8, so we won't take super long on these. Just point out some quick little things like this guy's playing Ursula. The other people were not playing Ursula. Congrats to you, Douglas
They
Peters.
also put the Street Rat in here.
There's 1 BLT Mickey, 1 copy of BLT Mickey. That's the only evasive card though, so there's no outs to like running into an evasive style deck. You're not playing Goofy. You're not playing anything other than that 1 Mickey. Maybe a little risky in my opinion,
I'm
but
saying if they played this out in the top 8 and they got paired up against the Emerald Ruby deck, I'm gonna just say it might have been a wrap.
you think so? You think so? Yeah.
Maybe this deck looks like it can't handle that.
Yeah, because like your outs to evasive stuff are Be Prepared, Elsa, and
Turn
Dragonfire in a
7.
sense. In a sense, like Elsa in a sense. But even then, like yeah, I've noticed that the evasive package has been gaining a lot of popularity because you do end up having a really good matchup against stuff like Ruby Amethyst or some mid-range decks that don't necessarily prepare to run into an evasive style deck. When some decks could, that's why we do see the Goofies a lot. But a lot of the times, we see some risky deck building like this, which that does take you a long way though sometimes. So I mean, congrats to Douglas Peters on this top 8. And then this is another
Congrats.
the 4th Ruby Amethyst. This is Audis Turner, Audi Turner. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm gonna call you Audi, bro. You got 4 Goofies in this one, just like we were saying. This guy was and 4 Pongos.
And
So
4 Pongos.
yeah, just like so.
My man's not losing to Emerald Ruby.
Yeah, so if this person got paired up to that Emerald Ruby, maybe it would have been a wrap for them. And that's the thing too. A lot of the things right now in Lorcana, guys, is not necessarily like tier 0 meta stuff. A lot of it is matchups. Sometimes like with the last top 8 we saw, there was only 1 Ruby Amethyst, and we don't necessarily know what their tournament experience was like from Swiss all the way to top cut. But it is safe to assume that sometimes your matchups do dictate a lot of whether or not you're gonna win. This is a trading card game, and luck is a factor. Whether or not we like to admit it, luck is a factor.
Comes down to a lot of things, not just your deck, not just because you don't know what you're gonna play against. You could play against your worst matchup, but there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you could play against the entire evasive lineup and you have no evasives, or you can play against an evasive deck and you have 4 Goofies and 4 Pongos. And he's playing Jetsam. He's playing
Yep.
Jetsam right there too. I didn't even notice that.
The Jetsamin, there's a nice touch. My man was really worried about that Emerald Ruby or any other evasive deck, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. I love being prepared for it.
Being prepared.
Pun intended, be prepared.
Yeah,
Pun intended, be prepared for that.
I don't know if this was like in the same area as some of the other top 8s we've seen, because we did recognize Zan's side's name, but for all we know, maybe this person also knows their local meta. Maybe they know there's a lot of what's it called?
Evasives.
So they came prepared. And that's one of the things too. If you guys are consistent tournament players and make sure to take notes. You never know when you go to a tournament and you recognize faces and oh, there's going to be a lot of evasive decks here today. I'm going to switch up my deck a little bit before the round starts and before the match starts, before I submit my deck list. So that's always a really good strategy. I wonder if that's how it went down. And real quick, I want to go over here. They're only playing 3 Dragonfire, but they're playing 4 Ursula. Oh no, yeah, 4 Ursula. I think Ursula slept on, guys. Ursula, very good
Yeah,
legendary right now. Very good card.
100%.
Yeah, I actually played a multi.
Underrated. It's very strong.
I played my
3
first.
lores.
I played my first
Good stats. I
multiplayer.
love it.
I played my first multiplayer match yesterday, and like we all lost to the dude playing Ruby Amethyst because it was just Ursula, 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 and he would draw 3 cards and we'd all lose 1 lore. It's ridiculous. But outside of even multiplayer, Ursula is a very strong card, I think. But yeah, that has been the top 8 for the Card Monster Games 2K tournament. $2,000 worth of prizing, up for that top 8. 80 players total. Kind of cool to see some interesting deck lists. I really do appreciate the Musketeer and the Emerald Ruby. Thank you guys for providing the lists from Card Monster Games, and thanks you for the players for being kind enough to provide your lists after as well, so that we can make videos like this, man. What you think, Bag?
Shout out to all the players with the innovative decks in this top 8. Special shout out to Zan. We're probably going to see him again in these top 8 videos.
Mhm.
Shout out to Emerald Ruby, who was being piloted by Michael. Shout out you for bringing this Emerald Ruby to our attention. Excited to try it out. Comment down below if you see the video. I want to see how it worked out for you. I want to know your card choices, especially that first card, the one with the boo on it. What was it called?
The guy, he's got a sword.
He's got a sword.
Yeah, he's got a sword, and then everyone goes, "You idiot! We all have swords." If you haven't seen the Aladdin movie,
Like, comment,
you're
and
asleep.
share if you are a Lorcana goon. Follow us on all social media if you're a Lorcana goon.
Yep.
And we are the Lorcana goons. We're going to keep gooning.
Yep. You goons have a good rest of your week and keep playing Lorcana. We will see you later.